right, everyone here at the Messed Up Movies podcast, we wanted to take a minute to talk about the end of The Last Drive-In with our dear beloved hero, Joe Bob Briggs. But as he reminded us in his own video, the drive-in never truly dies. There's more Joe Bob to come, but I think this is a message that took a lot of us by surprise. We here at the Messed Up Movies podcast, we're excited for our friend Josh Holt to have his movie shown on Joe Bob.
Glorious.
Glorious. Out of nowhere, we got this announcement that this was the last Joe Bob episode we would get, that this is the end of the show. He still has 4 specials, apparently, that he's contracted for. This is the end of the Last Drive-In Shudder show. And it feels like they switched lineups. Joe Bob had this very heartfelt final. I was actually like in tears watching it because he showed this whole, he said he was like, he stopped in this moment and looked back over like the 8-year run he's had.
Has it been 8 years?
Yeah. And like him coming back from MonsterVision was so exciting.
That
for
was
all
huge.
of us. I remember I was back from LA visiting my mom in her apartment and I held Hunter, who was like 3 years old. And I was like, holy shit, Joe Bob is like, me and your uncle watched this every weekend. When my dad would go to the bar, he'd leave us at home and we'd watch Joe Bob.
Yeah.
And it was so crucial to me becoming the guy I am now, to writing horror movies, making horror movies, doing this pod. All of that started with him for me. And I got to watch it with my son and I was like, this is so fucking cool. And then it was so popular, it became a show. And now I've gotten to go to a drive-in and my kids got to meet Joe Bob in person, right? And it just meant so much to me. So I'm getting emotional thinking about it. But what I want to talk about is what happens after Joe Bob. We don't have anything like that in the horror community. And I think more than almost any other genre of movie, the communal experience is so crucial to a horror film.
Well, we don't know exactly what the circumstances are given his departure. It could be contractual.
He said he's very healthy, which that was what we were all worried about.
So it's possible Joe Bob pops up on one of these other services, maybe a Tubi, maybe.
That's the big rumor, Tubi.
Yeah. Yeah. So it might not be going away, but for the thought experiment, what comes in the wake or fills the vacuum? I mean, look at Dead Meat. I mean, maybe that's something that steps in.
And a lot of us like those shows, but what I fear with this, right, and getting Joe Bob back was such a cool, wonderful moment when it happened. Because when he came back and announced this like one night Joe Bob, and it was so fun for me that night being on Twitter. And Darcy is just the best. She's such a great addition.
What's going to happen to Darcy?
She'll be fine. Everyone loves Darcy. And she works so hard when they're doing that. I told Nick this. Every time I watch that and I post anything about that show, she always replies to me.
Really?
And I wrote after my surgery, like watching Joe Bob to heal up. She sent me a message and said she hopes I heal up and I get better.
Aww.
And I was like, that's incredible.
I'm going to tear up.
But that's why I'm saying it. Like, and that was something I did with my brother. It was a really important thing. And now every time Joe Bob's on, my sons are so excited. We sleep on the couch. It's like a sleepover, right?
It's an event.
It's an event.
Yeah.
And we don't have anything else like that in the horror community. The apps don't cultivate that anymore. They did with Joe Bob, but now if that's
and we've lost
the YouTube shows don't do that.
We've lost it entirely. If you think back to MonsterVision, I mean, that's how TV worked. It's appointment viewing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And really, Shudder was the only thing keeping that alive in this community.
Yeah. Well, again, we don't know anything what's happening behind the scenes. Joe Bob specifically said in his video, none of this was his choice. So who knows what the business machinations are? What I wanted to do is just kind of do just spill my love for Joe Bob right over there. Right. You can't see it on camera. I have a MonsterVision poster signed by Joe Bob to me that I got, and I got a picture with him and my kids. And it was so fucking important to me. It was right after we had lost my brother. And him coming back just meant the world. And he came back right as it felt like we were losing movie theaters. We were losing all this stuff. Streamers were just here, and it was like just kind of like slopping things back into this digital space. He makes these movies matter. He takes these, especially movies that are kind of these lost, forgotten whatevers. He gives them this power, and it's fun. And you hear about all these creators and their stories. He's so brilliant at that. And again, I don't know that like you could say like what we do is a version of that, right? We podcast about all these movies, but again, he is such a lightning rod monolith in the horror community that there's no one else that we stop a Friday night and just give 5 hours.
Well, it is confusing because the way I heard it is that Shudder kind of pushed him into a more recurring format. Is it weekly?
So it runs for a while, right? Like they have like stretches in a row. This last batch has been the first Friday every month. The reason they wanted him to do that is because when he would do his specials, everyone would sign up for Shudder and then cancel it the next day because they just wanted Joe Bob. business aside, man, I just think it's so cool. You guys watched MonsterVision when you were kids, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Every week with my dad.
Yeah, that's what I
Great
mean.
memory.
It's like, and that's what's
So
so
much
cool.
so that I remember when I saw Casino, and he has that little
Yes!
cameo in Casino. Actually, it's more than a cameo. He's the dipshit cousin.
He's the dumb guy that gets the casino in trouble.
Yeah,
'Cause he's like, either you're in on it or you're so fucking stupid you can't work here. And that's Joe Bob.
Yeah, I was just kind of like, it's Joe Bob. Wait a second. He acts. He's an actor. He can't be an actor. He's a MonsterVision host.
It's hard. There's nothing else in my life that I've had since I was like 5 years old. Like Joe Bob has been important to me for that long because my dad would just go fuck off at the bar and my grandparents would go to bed at like 7. And that's all we had was we just watch MonsterVision or Up All Night, right? We'd watch these movies. And I found so many movies for the first time through that. And I was like a country kid. We didn't have access to all the coolest VHSs and whatever. You had whatever was at the IGA.
I remember your video store. It was terrible.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was so bad. And he just brought this love to it. And when he came back, I thought we recaptured something very important that I don't think any podcast is capturing. I don't think like TMC does that sometimes, like these look back on movies. Like those are all great. They don't do what he does. We went to Indiana. He came here to our local drive-in. It's like an hour away. Dude, people flooded. The line to get an autograph and a picture from Joe Bob, I waited in a line for 2 hours to pay for that. And then I had to go wait in another line. The first movie he showed was Sorority Babes and the Slime Bowl-orama. Yeah. I spent that entire movie in line to get my picture and autograph from Joe Bob. And then I got to watch The Stepfather afterwards. But he's that popular. I hope that someone prioritizes that coming together and celebrating movies. Not just watching them, not just talking about them like we do, like truly a celebration.
Who could take the mantle of people that are out there right now? Is there anyone that you can think of?
So I have a weird one. I think David Dasmalchian is right on the edge because he's so popular right now after Late Night with the Devil. He might be getting such good acting roles that he doesn't have time.
He's such a great actor.
And he has a horror movie host character he does.
Yeah.
His podcast, they sit in caskets and he asks his guest questions. Like he's so primed to be that guy. And I think he could be as beloved as Joe Bob in a different way.
Yeah.
Joe Bob is so wonderful at that everyman.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. That's what makes Joe Bob is he's
not a
singular.
horror guy, yeah.
No, he's singular. There's no one like him. So it's not like someone's going to come in and think about any of these talk show hosts. It's not like Stephen Colbert is doing his version of David Letterman, even though he took over the show. Like it had to be his own thing. And that show took a while to kind of like sort out. It is kind of sad that all that's going away now, it seems. Yeah. We're in a huge transition for talk shows. I don't think the format will ever truly die. It'll just evolve. It'll change.
Yeah.
And we are in a transition point right now on all levels with that.
And again, Joe Bob is getting older, right? Like we all knew this would happen eventually, but I think the way it happened so fucking fast, it was really startling and shocking. And like, again, we were all just thankful that it wasn't like the mutant fam, right? We're happy that it wasn't a health thing. Mm-hmm. But it fucking sucks, man. Like it really feels like we're losing an important, like I can't think of anyone else in horror right now. Like within the next couple of years, we'll lose some like great directors, some great actors. He's so different in what he does. Like that community like who can get all these people out to a drive-in in the middle of nowhere to just watch Sorority Babes in the Slime Bowl-orama? Like,
Kevin Smith could do it.
Kevin Smith is honestly very comparable because he's turned into this kind of traveling salesman.
Yeah.
And I've gone to many of his things. He's also another like my most formative influence too. And I think that's something that those two guys captured that I think we need so much more of is the community they built based on the things we love.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And those moments of like you watching with your dad, me with my brother, now my sons.
My brother was also there.
Yeah,
just to be fair.
That's what I mean. You can't. I think we got to cultivate these next guys, and it is, to your point, it's a lost art that is going to start disappearing more and more. Like when we went and saw Sammy Terry, people came out for that. They were excited. There were people that were so old compared to us, and we're kind of old. And you see this like cross. Like I think we got to find these people, and when they show up, we got to show up as a community.
You got to grab onto them.
We need to leave our kids with their own Joe Bob.
Is this how you're announcing our podcast tour?
Find us in my upstairs studio. No, I would happily do that.
We're watching all the Hellraisers.
Yeah, I think Joe Bob is the best. I wish him and Darcy all the best and thank them for everything they brought into my life. They meant a lot to me for a really long time. This was a sad week, but as Joe Bob reminds us, the drive-in will never die, and we're very excited for whatever comes next. Let us know who you think could be the next great horror movie host in the comments. We're very excited to see your options.